Folks, we're going to get into my review, what I feel is going to be the biggest film of the year. That's right. I'm talking about Barbie. Let's get into that right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. And today we're going to be reviewing the new film Barbie, which is coming to theaters July 21st. Yes, there's another review alongside of Damien available on the channel right now. But now that I had a chance to really sit on this film after checking it out last night, and kind of letting the feelings kind of metabolize a little bit, I'm here to say that I still think this film is damn perfect. And because it knew what it wanted it to be, and it executed flawlessly. And while there is little things that I could have wished for differently or more, for what it's worth, this film really lacked nothing for me. It didn't lack anything for me in this. And I'm just here to say that without a doubt, this needs to be on your watch list come July 21st, because you're going to have a good time. You're going to learn about the history of Barbie. You're going to have tons of laughs. You're going to see fantastic acting by this star-studded cast. If you were under a rock for whatever reason, let's just go down the list here. In Margot Robbie, Ben Kingsley, Ben Adir, who's killing it on Secret Invasion, Ryan Gosling, Issa Rae, Helen Mirren, who is narrating this film, Simu Liu, who is just really I think he's a national treasure at this point. This guy has just really blossomed into one of my favorites. America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, John Cena, like the list goes on and on and on. And I just think without a doubt, like, you're going to have a good time. You're going to see your favorites in terms of the cast. You're going to see them be as wild as they can. I mean, it's just really that good. Oh, did I mention Will Ferrell? Yes. Yeah, Will Ferrell is in this as well too. So without a doubt, the production is really something special, because you, with these actors playing Barbie and Ken, or other dolls, shall I say, you know, they have them as live versions of these dolls, but still in this cartoonish environment. And when I say even cartoonish environment, it's like that environment in which you saw the Barbie commercials of the past, these two-dimensional backgrounds, and then the locations of Barbie World, Barbie Land, is with all the toys. So like Mattel is heavily involved with this film, so that you're seeing the structures of these toys that you've seen for years. Like, they didn't miss a beat when it came an opportunity to really showcase Barbie. And whether you like Barbie or not, as a person that did not play with Barbies, you have to appreciate just the global phenomenon that Barbie is, the cultural phenomenon that Barbie is. And beyond that, and beyond your perception of what you think Barbie is, it's totally may erase that narrative that you have, and truly establish what this brand has been for all these years. And truly, Barbie is for everybody. And with that, you have Barbie and Ken, who's living their very colorful life within Barbie Land. However, they get an opportunity to go to the real world, and they're going to discover how much different that is. Like, Barbie is having some struggles. She's what they deemed as defective, shall I say, and she has to reconnect with her mate, the human that played with her, and to establish that bond again. That way, Barbie can be back to being Barbie. Ken is and has always been the companion to Barbie, but Ken is realizing that there is a world that is centered around men, which yeah, we live in that world, folks. But yes, you see how Barbie is very driven and empowering their women. Like, Barbie can be everybody. Barbie's a president, Barbie is a construction worker, etc., etc., etc. And the residents of Barbie Land has felt that, because of how inclusive they are, that this has solved real world problems, only to find out that the real world is still struggling to know what Barbie Land has always known, and Ken is still trying to figure himself out. Which it is a film about self discovery for everybody, but totally about Ken, and Ken's journey is pretty wild. I'm just gonna say, while they do go to the real world and they do visit California, it feels like Ken veered off into the deep heart south of Texas, and you can make of that what you want to be. But Ken also breaks some stereotypes of his own in this film. But if I must do the math here, Ken equals beach, and you will understand exactly what I mean when you go see the film here. But when it goes even to the human side of things, America Ferrera as Gloria is really something special. I think her performance should be talked about amongst the names of Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling. Like, those are our leads here. But America Ferrera, I think, puts on a performance that should be talked about amongst them. I don't want to give anything away, but her character truly, I think, is to the benefit of society, and certainly to the benefit of Mattel and merchandise sales going forward here. But yeah, just to go about Ken's also very, very toxic and very much tapping into that toxic masculinity. So like, they're gonna talk about, in a way, they're gonna establish gender roles or discuss gender roles. But what's interesting about this film, and this is something I didn't say in the review, is that they also just remove gender in the aspect of another conversation. Like, they don't explore gender in this. Yes, they say Barbies do this and Kens do that, but they remove gender, and they make it very clear by letting everybody know, which we already know, that Barbie and Ken don't have genitals. So they're not discussing gender in the film. They're just discussing equality, and that Barbie could be anybody, can do anything. And I think that it's a very important message that's ingrained and instilled in the film, but it doesn't take away from all of the fun. Like, they have so much fun. From the banter against the Kens as they try to compete for Barbie's attention, the banter amongst the girlfriends in terms of Barbie, like all of them all hanging out and so on, and even the self-discovery journey for the Barbies towards the third act of the film, when we see Barbie really take a step forward in terms of what they perceive life in society to be. You love it. I think Issa Rae really shines towards the third act of this film, where in the beginning she was kind of just a character that was there, a couple of lines and so on. Michael Cera as Alan, if you know, but Michael Cera is so enjoyable for his short handful of moments in this film that I really want more. Which brings me to my little nitpick of this film, is that with this cast, I guess I never wanted the film to end, because I just wanted so much more from every character. And also with some of the cameos, like John Cena, who I would have considered a cameo, but then they just announced that he's in it. I'm like, okay, well, if you're just announcing Cena in the film and Cena's in it for like 1 minute max, maybe, I'm like, well, who else is going to be in the film? And I think they really dropped the ball in the potential of adding some more cameos in there. Like there are some, but I feel like there could have been a lot more, which it could have been, and it could have got really wild in terms of how they did this, because like this film marketed, and the promotion behind this film is really second to none. Everywhere you go, you see Barbie. You even type Barbie into Google, and your whole page turns pink. Like, it's truly special about how they marketed this film. And I think that with that, I was just expecting a lot more razzle dazzle in terms of the cameos and the involvement within Hollywood actors and actresses in the film. Like, the cast is the cast, and that's fine, but I was definitely expecting them to kind of throw in some wild cards in there, and they definitely didn't. And then I also think it's funny, even though with Mattel's involvement with this, how Mattel is definitely almost a villain in this film at times, but I think they are just holding themselves accountable for some of the wrong practices in the past. And lastly, I'm going to say, to kind of wrap this review up, is that speaking of the past, you do get a mild history lesson within the archives of Barbie, from looking at the different models of Barbie that are still in rotation, some that were very much canceled, some that never seen the life or day. They kind of give you this box art in the credit scenes, which is really cool. That just, you know, shows you the Barbie name and with their relations to, you know, stereotypical Barbie, which is actually what they call it. And then also they just tell you about the year and all that other good stuff. So I thought it was really cool to like start the film off on one note where you think the film is going to be one way and then to eventually land in a whole nother direction. And with all of that being said, there's a lot of heart. There's definitely moments that, depending on your level of emotion, that you may shed some tears here, especially if you really grew up with Barbies and this was like your thing. I think there's going to be moments that are going to be really special for you. It's going to probably make you reflect back into your time with playing with Barbies. Like, there's definitely a Barbie, I forget what they called the Barbie, but there's definitely a Barbie that I'm sure everybody had this Barbie in their collection. You know, the Barbie that gets like the wild haircuts and gets painted on. Everybody, whether you have a sister or you had a girlfriend or something at the time, whatever it may be, everybody knows that one Barbie that looks like Angelica's little doll from Rugrats. Like, yeah, there's that Barbie even in this as well too. So I just thought it was really, really cool that like they highlighted so many different iterations of Barbie, and just really focusing on a message and a plot, and also adding a lot of fun and creativity into this film. Aesthetically, the creativity is really special. And again, this is why I say this film is perfect, because I don't think it lacked in any department. When I really look around and say, what could this film have done better? It's hard to really say anything without it being considered nitpicking. I think it knew what it wanted to do. I think for all the promotion and hype, that it executed to a point that like, you just had fun. You just had fun from all of the different characters and they're all Barbies and Ken, I know, but from all the different versions of Barbies, from all the acting that was involved, there was just so many moments that you just was like, man, this is special before your eyes, and you just have to appreciate it. And last but not least, Will Ferrell as the Mattel CEO. You already know how Will is going to show up, and in this role, he didn't lack as expected. He really, 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 really never ever fails when it comes down to the icing of the cake in terms of elevating the humor and the comedy of a film. He is exactly who you thought he would be, and I enjoyed it, man. I really, really enjoyed it. But without a doubt, for all the marketing that I already told you need to go see it, you're hearing it here, you certainly need to check this film out. The music's good too, but we already knew that because a lot of music has been released from Ice Spice, Nicki Minaj, and who else got songs in this? Billie Eilish. Like, yeah, the music is fantastic. Like, they really, really, really put together a super solid film, and I think without a doubt, beyond going to see this might even be worth purchasing for your collection. Because I can imagine the steel books and all that other stuff is going to be, yeah, it's going to be special. But yeah, check out Barbie, folks. Again, in theaters, coming July 21st. You all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, your excitement, your hype, your questions, whatever it may be. And as always, stay tuned for more reviews very soon.